Could you survive 24 hours in a Roman legion camp? Stand up for a moment and feel your own 2 feet on the ground. Now imagine 30 kilograms strapped to your back. Before this single day is over, you will march, dig, and build a fortress. And none of it is the part you are picturing. It is not yet dawn on the cold and muddy edge of the empire. A horn rips you out of sleep, and the vast machine around you stirs to life. You think you are a soldier, sent here to fight with a sword. But by nightfall you will learn the truth. Rome did not conquer the world with a sword, and you are about to find out what it used instead. First, forget the glorious warrior you imagined. You are a legionary, and for most of today, you are a pack animal. 100 years before this, a general named Marius changed the army forever. He forced every soldier to carry his own gear, so the legion could move fast and light. In return, the men earned a mocking nickname that stuck for centuries: Marius's Mules. Onto a wooden carrying pole go your cloak, your cooking pot, and your ration of grain. Then the tools: a shovel, a pick, an axe, and a bundle of sharpened stakes. All of it together weighs up to 30 kilograms, and that is before your armor and shield. Picture carrying a 10-year-old child on your back all day without ever setting them down. Your armor is banded iron, and your tall, curved shield is far heavier than it looks. And you will carry every bit of it for up to 30 kilometers before the day is done. There is no road beneath your feet, because you are the one who builds the roads. By midday, your shoulders are raw, and still the column grinds on, mile after mile. Fall out of step, and you learn the first law of the legion. The group is everything. You, alone, are nothing. Above the column rises a silver eagle on a pole, the very soul of your legion. Lose that eagle to the enemy, and the disgrace will haunt your legion forever. For all of this, you are paid 225 silver coins a year. But the cost of your food, your gear, and your tent is quietly taken straight out of it. And you owe the army the next 25 years of your life. Yet the marching is the easy part, because when it finally ends, the real labor begins. The sun is dropping, and you have marched all day. Every muscle in your body screams for rest. You will not get it, because a Roman legion does not simply stop and sleep in the open. Every night, deep in enemy land, it builds a fortress out of nothing. This is the part of Rome the movies never show you. The order is given, and thousands of exhausted men become an army of builders. The ground is measured and marked out in a plan you have followed 100 times. You already know exactly where to dig, because every camp is built the same. You set down your weapons and pick up your shovel. A deep ditch is cut. The earth is heaped into a wall, and your sharpened stakes crown the top. And here is the almost unbelievable part. A fortified camp for thousands of men rises in just 4 or 5 hours. Walls, gates, ditches, and neat rows of streets. A small city built and gone in a day. Imagine an entire town assembling itself every evening, then vanishing again every morning. This is why the legion was so unstoppable. An enemy could never once catch you sleeping unprotected in the open. Behind these walls, the whole camp is laid out in a perfect grid. Every tent, every street, every unit has one fixed place. The same in Gaul, in Spain, in Germania. A soldier could walk into any Roman camp in the world and know exactly where he stood. You join to swing a sword, but your most used weapon is the shovel in your blistered hands. Rome did not just outfight its enemies. It outbuilt them, outdug them, and outorganized them. And once the walls are up, the thing that truly rules this camp finally reveals itself: discipline. In a Roman camp, discipline is not just a word. It is a religion, and it is merciless. It began long before this frontier, back when you were a raw recruit. For 4 full months, you did almost nothing but train. You drilled with a wooden sword, and a wicker shield made double the weight of the real thing, so that on the day of battle, your true weapons would feel light and quick in your hands. You struck a wooden post, over and over, morning and afternoon, until the moves lived in your bones. The Romans had a saying. Their training was bloodless battle, and their battles were bloody training. You learned to move not as a man, but as one small part of an enormous machine. On a single command, the whole line locks its shields into a solid wall. Raise them overhead too, and the unit becomes an armored shell called the testudo, the tortoise. Arrows and stones rain down onto it and simply bounce away. No lone warrior, however brave, could ever do this. Only the machine can. This was the true Roman secret. Not stronger men, but perfect, relentless teamwork. Individual glory means nothing here. The formation is everything. You are not a hero. You are a brick in a wall that does not break. And the men who dare to crack that discipline face something worse than any enemy. Because in this camp, the most dangerous thing to you is not the barbarian out in the forest. Watching over all of it stands the centurion, the hard iron heart of the legion. He carries a twisted vine staff, and he uses it freely on any man too slow to obey. He has clawed his way up through decades of blood, sweat, and discipline. And his single word inside this camp can mean your life or your death. Now night falls, and the true nature of this place shows itself. The gates are barred. Sentries take the walls. A secret password moves through the dark. Fall asleep on watch, and the punishment is death, at the hands of the very comrades you failed. This is the brutal core of Rome. Your own side is far more dangerous than the enemy. Steal from a tent mate, lie, or run from a fight, and you face the fustuarium. Your own friends form two long lines and beat you to the ground. It sounds monstrous, but it is exactly why a Roman line would hold when any other army broke. The fear of the enemy in front of you was nothing beside the fear of the men next to you. And for the very worst crimes, mutiny, or the cowardice of a whole unit, there was something darker still. A punishment so terrible its name still echoes 2,000 years later. Decimation. If an entire unit broke and fled, the army did not punish all of them. It punished one man in every 10. The soldiers drew lots, and every 10th man was chosen by nothing but pure chance. And then his own tent mates, his friends, were forced to club him to death. The other 9 were spared and left to live forever with what they had done. It was rare. Most soldiers went their whole lives and never saw it. The most famous case came when a general named Crassus crushed a great slave revolt. But the true power of decimation was never really the killing. It was the terror of it, proof that Rome would sooner destroy its own than allow weakness. This is the machine you now live inside. It fed you, paid you, and trained you like no army the world had ever seen. And it would grind you into nothing the very instant you failed it. You lie in your tent in the dark, listening to the sentries in the wind. Tomorrow will bring another march, another ditch, another wall. So the real question was never whether you could fight. It is whether you could endure all of this. So, could you survive 24 hours in a Roman legion camp? To last even one single day, here is what it would truly take. You would need the body of a laborer, not just the arm of a fighter. Strong enough to march 30 kilometers under 30 kilograms of load. Then strong enough, at the end of it, to dig a fortress out of the raw earth. You would need to move as part of a machine, and never as yourself. To lock your shield into the wall and hold the line, even as the arrows fall. And you would need to swallow a discipline that could kill you for a single mistake. Obey at once. Never steal. Never sleep on watch. Never run. Marcher, builder, soldier, and utterly, completely obedient. Miss any one of those, and the camp itself would destroy you long before the enemy ever could. Most people today would break in the first hour of the march alone, not from the fighting, but from the sheer, crushing weight of the work. Because being a legionary was less like being a warrior, and far more like being a soldier, a builder, and a prisoner, all at the same time. So the honest answer is this. You could hold a sword, but could you carry an empire? Because here is the truth buried beneath the armor in the eagles. Rome did not conquer the world with heroes. It conquered with organization. Its greatest weapon was never the short sword resting on your hip. It was the shovel on your back and the iron discipline in your spine. While its enemies fought as crowds of brave individuals, Rome fought as a single mind. It outmarched, outbuilt, and simply outlasted everyone it ever met. Every road, every wall, every fort was one more link in an unbreakable chain. The legionary was never really a warrior. He was the empire itself, made flesh. A man turned into a tool, and with millions of those tools, Rome built a world. So stand up one more time and feel that weight you imagined on your back. It was never the sword that was going to break you or to save you. It was everything the sword never gets the credit for: the march, the dirt, and the will to endure.